The summons. Earth receives an invitation to the Galactic Council, sparking debates about revealing humanity's water resources. First contact. Human delegates arrive at the Council, facing skepticism and hostility from alien species. The revelation. Humans disclose Earth's vast water resources, shocking the Council and inciting fear and greed. Rising tensions. Alien factions plot to seize Earth's water, while humans prepare defenses and seek allies. The Water War. A galactic conflict erupts over Earth's oceans, with humanity fighting to protect their home. A new era. The aftermath of the war reshapes galactic politics, with Earth emerging as a major power. Now, I'll begin writing part 1 of the story. Part 1. The Summons. The holographic display flickered to life in the Oval Office, casting an eerie blue glow across President Evelyn Chen's face. She leaned forward, her eyes narrowing as she studied the alien script scrolling across the screen. After a moment, the message translated into English. To the leaders of Earth, the Galactic Council extends an invitation to your species to attend our next assembly. Your recent achievements in faster-than-light travel have not gone unnoticed. It is time for humanity to take its place among the stars. President Chen sat back, her mind racing. Humanity had only achieved FTL travel 5 years ago, and in that time, they'd established a handful of small colonies on nearby habitable worlds. But they'd yet to make official contact with any alien civilizations. Until now. Thoughts, Admiral? Chen asked, turning to the stern-faced man standing at attention beside her desk. Admiral Marcus Blackwood, commander of Earth's fledgling space fleet, cleared his throat. It's an opportunity, Madam President, but also a risk. We don't know anything about this Galactic Council or their intentions. Chen nodded, her lips pressed into a thin line. Agreed, but can we afford to ignore this invitation? No, Blackwood said firmly. If we decline, we risk appearing weak or isolationist. That could make us a target. The president stood, pacing behind her desk. We need to send a delegation. Our best and brightest. Scientists, diplomats, military personnel. And what about our unique resource? Blackwood asked, his voice lowering. Chen stopped, fixing the Admiral with a piercing gaze. You mean the oceans? Blackwood nodded. From what we've gathered in our limited exploration, liquid water in such abundance is exceedingly rare in the galaxy. It could be our greatest strength or our greatest vulnerability. The president sighed, running a hand through her short salt and pepper hair. We can't hide it forever, but we need to be cautious about how much we reveal. She turned to her computer, fingers flying across the keyboard. I'm calling an emergency meeting of the Global Security Council. We need to decide on our approach and assemble our delegation within the week. As Chen worked, her mind wandered to the vast oceans that covered much of Earth's surface. To most humans, they were simply a fact of life. But out there, among the stars, there might be the most valuable resource in the galaxy. The next few days were a whirlwind of activity. Leaders from every nation argued and debated via secure video links. Scientists presented data on the galactic rarity of water. Military strategists outlined potential defensive measures. In the end, a consensus was reached. Earth would send a delegation of 50 individuals, carefully chosen to represent the best of humanity. They would be led by Ambassador Zahra Hassan, a brilliant diplomat known for her cool head and sharp mind. The day of departure arrived all too quickly. At a secret launch facility in the Atacama Desert, Earth's most advanced starship, the ESS Horizon, stood gleaming in the morning sun. Its sleek hull concealed technology that had propelled humanity into a new era of space exploration. Ambassador Hassan stood at the base of the boarding ramp, addressing the assembled crowd of officials and press. Today, we embark on a journey that will shape the future of our species, she said, her voice clear and confident. We go to meet our galactic neighbors not as conquerors or supplicants, but as equals. We carry with us the hopes and dreams of every person on Earth. As the crew boarded the ship, Admiral Blackwood pulled Hassan aside. "Remember the protocol," he said in a low voice. "Reveal nothing about Earth's water resources unless absolutely necessary. And if you must, downplay its importance." Hassan nodded, her expression grave. "I understand, Admiral. We'll tread carefully." With final farewells said, the ESS Horizon's engines roared to life. The ship rose gracefully into the sky, quickly becoming a tiny speck against the blue expanse. As Earth shrank behind them, the crew of the Horizon felt the weight of their responsibility. They carried not only the future of humanity, but also the secret of their planet's most precious resource. In the depths of space, unimaginably distant, the members of the Galactic Council prepared for the arrival of these curious newcomers. Some viewed the humans with cautious optimism, others with thinly veiled disdain. But all were eager to learn more about this young species that had achieved so much in so little time. Little did they know that the humans carried with them a secret that would shake the very foundations of galactic society. As the ESS Horizon hurtled through the cosmos, the stage was set for a confrontation that would determine the fate of Earth and its vast, life-giving oceans. The journey to the Galactic Council's headquarters took several weeks, even with the Horizon's advanced FTL drive. During this time, Ambassador Hassan and her team pored over the limited data they had on alien species and galactic politics. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the delegation's lead xenobiologist, spent hours briefing the others on potential biological differences they might encounter. "Remember," she stressed, "what seems normal to us may be completely alien to them. We must be prepared for anything." Meanwhile, Major Darius Cole, head of security, ran the military contingent through endless drills. "We're not expecting trouble," he told his team, "but we need to be ready for it. We're walking into unknown territory." As they approached their destination, tension aboard the ship reached a fever pitch. Humanity's future hung in the balance, and the weight of that responsibility pressed down on every member of the crew. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the nav computer chimed. They had arrived. The view that greeted them as they dropped out of FTL was breathtaking. A massive space station hung suspended against a backdrop of swirling nebulae and distant stars. Its design was like nothing they had ever seen, a twisting, organic structure that seemed to defy the laws of physics. "My God," whispered Commander Sarah Chen, the Horizon's pilot. "It's beautiful." Ambassador Hassan stood on the bridge, her eyes wide as she took in the sight. "Indeed it is, Commander," she said softly. "And now we make history." As the Horizon approached the station, a communication channel crackled to life. An alien voice, speaking perfect English, filled the bridge. "Welcome, humans of Earth. The Galactic Council awaits you. First contact." The ESS Horizon docked with the massive space station, its hull looking diminutive next to the sprawling alien structure. Ambassador Zara Hassan stood at the airlock, her heart pounding as she waited for the pressure to equalize. Behind her, the rest of the human delegation fidgeted nervously, each lost in their own thoughts about the momentous first contact they were about to make. As the airlock hissed open, Hassan took a deep breath and stepped forward into history. The corridor before her was bathed in a soft, pulsating light that seemed to emanate from the walls themselves. At the end of the passage stood three figures, each wildly different from the others. The central figure stepped forward. It was tall and slender, with iridescent skin that shimmered like oil on water. 4 arms extended from its torso, ending in delicate, multi-jointed fingers. Its head was adorned with a crown-like structure that pulsed with gentle light. "Greetings, humans of Earth," the being said, its voice melodious and androgynous. "I am Xandri, Chief Diplomat of the Galactic Council. Welcome to Nexus Prime." Hassan bowed slightly, remembering her briefings on alien etiquette. "Thank you for your welcome, Xandri. I am Ambassador Zara Hassan, representing the United Earth Government. We are honored to be here." Xandri gestured to its companions. To its left stood a bulky, reptilian creature with scales that gleamed like polished metal. This is Krogath of the Saurian Imperium, Xandri explained. The creature inclined its massive head, eyes narrowing as it studied the humans. To Xandri's right was a being that seemed to be composed entirely of swerving mist contained within a vaguely humanoid force field. And this is Zephyr, representative of the Nebula Collective. Hazan nodded to each in turn, acutely aware of how alien she and her team must appear to these beings. We look forward to learning from you all and sharing knowledge of our own civilization. Krogath snorted, a sound like grinding stones. Knowledge? What knowledge could your primitive species possibly offer the Council? Hazan felt her diplomatic mask slip for a moment, but she quickly regained her composure. We may be young compared to your civilizations, Krogath, but we have much to offer. Our achievements in science, art, and technology speak for themselves. The misty form of Zephyr pulsed gently. When it spoke, its voice seemed to come from everywhere at once. Patience, Krogath. All species have value, regardless of their age. Let us not judge before we have learned. Kahandri nodded in agreement. Well said, Zephyr. Come, humans, the Council awaits. As they walked through the twisting corridors of Nexus Prime, the human delegation couldn't help but gape at their surroundings. Alien species of every imaginable form bustled about, some floating, others scuttling on multiple legs, still others gliding along on cushions of energy. Dr. Tanaka whispered excitedly to Hassan, "The biodiversity here is incredible. Each species must have evolved under completely different conditions." Major Cole, on the other hand, eyed every passing alien with suspicion, his hand never straying far from his concealed sidearm. Finally, they reached a vast chamber that seemed to stretch endlessly upward. Tiered seating surrounded a central platform, each level filled with representatives from hundreds of alien species. The cacophony of voices, ranging from subsonic rumbles to high-pitched whistles, fell silent as the human delegation entered. Sandri led them to the central platform. Esteemed members of the Galactic Council, it announced, its voice amplified to reach every corner of the chamber. I present to you the representatives of Earth, the newest spacefaring civilization, to join our galactic community. A murmur rippled through the assembled aliens. Some leaned forward with interest, others recoiled as if in disgust. Hazan felt the weight of countless alien eyes upon her as she stepped forward to address the Council. Honored members of the Galactic Council, she began, her voice steady despite her nerves. We come before you in a spirit of peace and cooperation. Earth may be new to the galactic stage, but we are eager to learn, to trade, and to contribute to the greater good of all species. As Hassan spoke, holographic displays flickered to life around the chamber, showing images of Earth, its cities, its natural wonders, its diverse ecosystems. The ambassador felt a surge of pride as she saw her homeworld through the eyes of these alien beings. However, her words were met with mixed reactions. Some council members nodded approvingly, while others chittered or growled in what seemed like skepticism or derision. A massive, gelatinous being near the front pulsed with bioluminescent patterns. How did such a primitive species achieve faster-than-light travel so quickly? It burbled. It took my people millennia to develop such technology. Before Hazan could respond, an avian creature with iridescent feathers trilled. Perhaps they had help. There are always those willing to break the non-interference protocols for the right price. Indignant murmurs spread through the chamber. Hazan raised her hands, trying to calm the situation. I assure you, we developed our technology independently. Humanity has always been driven by curiosity and the desire to explore. When we set our minds to a task, we accomplish it, no matter the odds. Krogath, who had taken a seat near the front, leaned forward. Pretty words, Ambassador, but actions speak louder. What can your species offer the Council besides empty platitudes? Hazan hesitated for a moment, acutely aware of the thin line she had to walk. She couldn't reveal too much about Earth's water resources, but she needed to prove humanity's worth. We offer innovation, she said carefully. Humanity has a unique ability to think outside conventional boundaries. Our scientists have made breakthroughs in fields ranging from quantum mechanics to bioengineering. We've developed sustainable energy solutions and advanced medical techniques that could benefit many species. She paused, gauging the reaction of the council. Some seemed intrigued, others remained skeptical. Hazan knew she needed something more concrete to win them over. Moreover, she continued, Earth possesses unique resources that are rare in the galaxy. We are willing to discuss fair trade agreements that could be mutually beneficial. This caught the attention of many council members. Sandri stepped forward, its crown pulsing with interest. What kind of resources, Ambassador Hassan? Hassan took a deep breath, knowing she was about to step onto dangerous ground. Earth is blessed with abundant water resources, she said, trying to downplay the true extent of their oceans. We've developed advanced purification and distribution systems that could be adapted for use on water-scarce worlds. The chamber erupted into excited chatter. Water, it seemed, was indeed a precious commodity in the galaxy. Hazan felt a mix of relief and apprehension. She had piqued the Council's interest without revealing the full truth about Earth's oceans. As the noise died down, a new voice cut through the chamber. A being composed of crystalline structures floated forward, its faceted body refracting the light in dazzling patterns. I am Valshara of the crystalline confluence, it chimed, its voice like tinkling glass. We have long sought reliable sources of pure water for our growth cycles. Perhaps an exchange of technology could be arranged. Hazan nodded cautiously. We would certainly be open to discussions, Valshara. Earth believes in fair and mutually beneficial trade. As more council members began to voice interest in Earth's resources and technology, Hazan felt a growing sense of unease. She had opened a door, and now she wasn't sure she could control what came through it. The rest of the session passed in a blur of questions, proposals, and thinly veiled demands. By the time Sandri called for an adjournment, Hazan's head was spinning. As the human delegation was led to their assigned quarters, Major Cole leaned in close to the ambassador. "Ma'am," he whispered, "I don't like this. They're too interested in our water. If they knew the true extent of Earth's oceans." Hassan nodded grimly. "I know, Major. We've sparked their interest, but we need to be careful, very careful." As they settled into their alien accommodations, each member of the human delegation felt the weight of their responsibility. They had made first contact, but the real challenges were just beginning. The fate of Earth and its precious water resources hung in the balance, and one wrong move could spell disaster for humanity. Little did they know that even now, in the shadowy corners of Nexus Prime, plans were being set in motion that would change the course of galactic history forever. The revelation. As the days on Nexus Prime stretched into weeks, Ambassador Zahra Hazan found herself navigating an increasingly complex web of galactic politics. The initial excitement of first contact had given way to a tense atmosphere of negotiations, veiled threats, and probing questions about Earth's resources. The human delegation had been given a suite of rooms that seemed to shift and adapt to their needs, a marvel of alien technology that would have fascinated them under different circumstances. But now it felt more like a gilded cage. Hazan sat at a floating console, poring over reports from various council meetings. Dr. Tanaka entered, her usual enthusiasm dampened by exhaustion. "Ambassador," she said, collapsing into a chair that materialized to catch her, "I finished analyzing the data from the Council's shared scientific database. It's concerning." Hazan looked up, her brow furrowed. "What have you found?" Tanaka pulled up a holographic display showing a galaxy map dotted with pinpoints of light. "These are all the known water-rich worlds in the Milky Way. As you can see, they're incredibly rare. Most civilizations survive on trace amounts of water, recycling it endlessly." The ambassador's heart sank. "And Earth? If my calculations are correct, Earth has more liquid water than the rest of these worlds combined, by a significant margin." The implications hung heavy in the air. Earth wasn't just water-rich, it was an oasis in a galactic desert. Major Cole, who had been silently standing guard, spoke up. "We can't let this information get out. The Council would strip Earth bare." Hassan nodded grimly. "Agreed, but I'm not sure how much longer we can keep this secret. The Council is growing impatient with our evasiveness." As if on cue, a chime sounded, indicating an incoming message. Sandri's melodious voice filled the room. "Ambassador Hassan, your presence is requested in the Grand Chamber. The Council has called an emergency session regarding Earth's resources." Hassan exchanged worried glances with her team. "Understood, Xandri. We'll be there shortly." As they made their way to the Grand Chamber, the corridors of Nexus Prime seemed more oppressive than ever. Alien species parted before them, some watching with undisguised curiosity, others with what could only be described as hunger in their eyes. The Grand Chamber was packed, the tiered seating filled to capacity with representatives from every corner of the galaxy. As Hassan took her place on the central platform, she felt the weight of countless alien gazes upon her. Xandri floated forward, its crown pulsing with an urgency Hassan hadn't seen before. "Esteemed members of the Council, we have convened this emergency session to address growing concerns about Earth's water resources. Ambassador Hassan, we require full disclosure. How much water does your planet truly possess?" Hassan's mind raced. She knew this moment would come, but she had hoped to have more time to prepare. She glanced at Dr. Tanaka, who gave a slight nod. There was no avoiding it now. Taking a deep breath, Hassan stepped forward. "Honored members of the Council, I have not been entirely forthcoming about the extent of Earth's water resources." A ripple of murmurs spread through the chamber. Krogath, the Saurian representative, leaned forward, his scales glinting menacingly. "We knew it. The humans have been lying to us all along." Hassan raised her hands, trying to calm the growing uproar. "Not lying, Counselor. We were simply cautious. You must understand. Earth has been isolated for so long. We didn't know how this information would be received." Xandri's voice cut through the noise. "Tell us now, Ambassador. No more evasions." Steeling herself, Hassan activated a holographic display. The image of Earth, blue and beautiful, rotated slowly before the Council. "Earth's surface," Hassan began, her voice steady despite her racing heart, "is covered by approximately 71% water. Our oceans contain roughly 1.35 billion cubic kilometers of water." The chamber erupted into chaos. Alien voices cried out in disbelief, anger, and naked greed. Some species that Hassan had never seen show emotion before were practically vibrating with excitement. "Impossible," shouted a being composed entirely of swirling plasma. "No planet could have so much water and support life." Dr. Tanaka stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overriding her caution. "It's not only possible, it's essential for our form of life. Earth's water cycle regulates our climate, supports our ecosystems, and enabled the evolution of complex life forms, including ourselves." The crystalline being, Valshara, floated closer, its facets refracting light in dizzying patterns. "With such abundant water, your species could terraform countless worlds. You could reshape the galaxy itself." Hassan felt the situation slipping out of control. "Members of the Council, please. Earth's water resources are not for sale or exploitation. They are integral to our planet's survival and—" She was cut off by Krogath's roar. "This changes everything. The humans have been hiding a treasure trove, or the rest of the galaxy thirsts. I move that we immediately dispatch ships to secure this resource for the good of all species." Voices of agreement echoed through the chamber. Hassan looked to Xandri, hoping for support, but the chief diplomat's expression was unreadable. Major Cole stepped forward, his hand hovering near his weapon. "Earth is a sovereign planet, not a resource to be plundered. Any aggressive action will be met with force." The threat hung in the air, causing a momentary lull in the commotion. Xandri raised all four of its arms, calling for order. "This is a grave matter that requires careful consideration. the chief diplomat said. We will adjourn for now and reconvene in 3 rotations to discuss the implications of this revelation. As the council members filed out, their heated discussions echoing through the chamber, Hazan felt a sense of dread settling in her stomach. She had revealed Earth's greatest secret, and now the planet's fate hung in the balance. Back in their quarters, the human delegation gathered for an emergency meeting. The atmosphere was tense, filled with a mix of fear and determination. We need to contact Earth immediately, Hazan said, pacing the room. They need to be prepared for any eventuality. Dr. Tanaka nodded, her earlier excitement replaced by worry. I'll start working on proposals for limited water trade. Maybe if we offer something, they won't try to take it all. Major Cole shook his head. It won't be enough. You saw their reactions. Many of them won't settle for anything less than unrestricted access to our oceans. Hazan stopped pacing, her expression hardening. Then we need allies. There must be some species in the Council who understand the importance of preserving planetary ecosystems. As they debated their next moves, none of them noticed the tiny, spider-like drone clinging to the ceiling, its multifaceted eyes recording every word and transmitting the data to parties unknown. Across Nexus Prime, in secret chambers and shadowy corners, plans were already being set in motion. Some sought to protect Earth, seeing it as a priceless natural wonder. Others plotted to exploit its resources, viewing the water-rich planet as the key to galactic dominance. And in the depths of space, unbeknownst to the Council or the humans, ancient powers stirred, awakened by the revelation of a blue planet teeming with the rarest resource in the cosmos. The fate of Earth, and perhaps the entire galaxy, would be decided in the coming days. And humanity, so recently arrived on the galactic stage, found itself at the center of a looming cosmic storm. Rising tensions. The 3 rotations granted by Alexandri passed in a blur of frantic activity. Ambassador Zahra Hassan and her team worked tirelessly, reaching out to potential allies among the Council species, preparing arguments for Earth's sovereignty, and sending encrypted messages back home to warn of the looming crisis. As the human delegation made their way to the Grand Chamber for the reconvened session, the corridors of Nexus Prime buzzed with tension. Alien species huddled in groups, their discussions falling silent as the humans passed. Some regarded them with curiosity, others with open hostility. Major Cole, ever vigilant, noticed several new security drones hovering discreetly in the shadows. They've increased surveillance, he muttered to Hazan. We should assume everything we say or do is being monitored. Hazan nodded grimly. Then let's make sure our actions speak louder than words. As they entered the Grand Chamber, the atmosphere was electric. The tiered seating was packed, with even more aliens crowding the upper galleries. Hazan took her place on the central platform, flanked by Dr. Tanaka and Major Cole. Xandri glided to the center, its crown pulsing with a kaleidoscope of colors. This session of the Galactic Council is now in session. We are here to discuss the matter of Earth's water resources and determine a course of action. Before Xandri could continue, Krogaf burst forward, his massive form dominating the platform. There is nothing to discuss, he roared. The humans have deceived us from the beginning. They cannot be trusted to manage such a vital resource. I propose immediate action to secure Earth's water for the good of the galaxy. A chorus of agreement rose from several sections of the chamber. Hazan's heart sank as she realized just how many species supported Krogaf's aggressive stance. But then, a new voice cut through the clamor. And who would decide how this water is distributed? Krogaf, your Imperium, perhaps. The speaker was Zephyr, the misty representative of the Nebula Collective. Its form swirled with agitation as it continued. We cannot allow panic and greed to drive our decisions. Earth is a sovereign world, and its resources belong to its people. Murmurs of assent rippled through other sections of the chamber. Hazan felt a glimmer of hope. Perhaps they had more allies than she'd realized. Seizing the moment, she stepped forward. Honored members of the Council, I understand your shock at the revelation of Earth's water resources. but I implore you to consider the consequences of hasty action. She activated a holographic display showing the intricate ecosystems of Earth's oceans. Our planet's water isn't just a resource to be exploited, it's the foundation of a complex biosphere that has evolved over billions of years. Any large-scale removal of water could have catastrophic effects, not just for Earth, but for the delicate balance of our entire solar system. Dr. Tanaka joined her scientific passion overriding her usual reserve. Ambassador Hazan is correct. Earth's oceans play a crucial role in regulating our climate, supporting biodiversity, and even influencing geological processes. Disrupting this system could lead to unforeseen consequences on a planetary scale. Valshera, the crystalline being, chimed in. While the human's abundance of water is enviable, we must consider the ethical implications of forcibly taking resources from an inhabited world. My people know all too well the devastation that can come from such actions. The chamber erupted into heated debate. Species argued back and forth, some demanding immediate access to Earth's water, others advocating for caution and diplomacy. Zandri raised all four of its arms, calling for order. It is clear that this issue is more complex than we initially believed. We must consider all aspects before making a decision. But Krogath wasn't finished. The massive saurian lumbered forward, his eyes fixed on Hazan with predatory intensity. Pretty words and scientific theories won't quench the thirst of dying worlds. The humans have more water than they could ever need. Why should they hoard it while others suffer? Hazan stood her ground, meeting Krogath's gaze. We are not hoarding, Counselor. Earth is willing to discuss fair trade agreements for limited water resources, but we will not allow our planet to be pillaged. Krogath's scales rippled with barely contained rage. You speak of fair trade, but your actions show your true nature. Even now, your people prepare for war. A shocked murmur ran through the chamber. Hazan's blood ran cold. How could he know? The saurian activated a holographic display of his own, showing grainy images of Earth. Massive orbital defense platforms were under construction, while fleets of warships gathered in high orbit. These images were taken by our long-range scouts. Krogath snarled. The humans speak of peace while they arm themselves for conflict. Major Cole stepped forward, his voice hard. We are merely exercising our right to self-defense. Given the hostile intentions expressed by some members of this council, can you blame us for taking precautions? The chamber descended into chaos once more. Accusations flew back and forth, with some species calling for immediate sanctions against Earth, while others demanded a more measured approach. Amidst the tumult, Hazan noticed Zandri deep in conversation with a group of beings she didn't recognize. The chief diplomat's crown was pulsing with rapid, complex patterns. Finally, Zandri raised all four arms, its voice cutting through the din. Enough. It is clear that we cannot reach a consensus at this time. This matter requires further investigation and deliberation. The diplomat turned to Hazan, its expression unreadable. Ambassador, the Council requires more information about Earth's capabilities and intentions. We propose sending a delegation to your planet for a first-hand assessment of the situation. Hazan's mind raced. A delegation to Earth could be an opportunity to showcase humanity's peaceful intentions, but it could also be a security risk. She glanced at Major Cole, who gave a slight nod. We would be honored to host a delegation, Hazan said carefully. However, we must insist on strict protocols to ensure the safety of all parties involved. Alexandri nodded. Agreed. We will select a diverse group of representatives to visit Earth. They will assess the water resources, evaluate your defenses, and report back to the Council. Based on their findings, we will make our final decision regarding Earth's status in the galactic community. As the session adjourned, Hazan felt a mix of relief and apprehension. They had bought some time, but the real challenge was just beginning. Back in their quarters, the human delegation gathered for an emergency meeting. Major Cole paced the room, his expression grim. We need to warn Earth immediately. They need to be ready for this delegation, and for any potential, unofficial visitors. Dr. Tanaka nodded, her fingers flying over a datapad. I'll prepare a comprehensive briefing on our ecosystems. If we can make them understand the delicate balance of our biosphere, maybe they'll be less inclined to interfere. Hazen sank into a chair, feeling the weight of responsibility pressing down on her. We're walking a tightrope here. We need to appear open and transparent, but we can't expose ourselves to potential threats. As they debated their next moves, none of them noticed the small, insect-like drone that detached itself from the ceiling and slipped out through a vent. Across Nexus Prime, in secret chambers and hidden laboratories, various factions began preparing for the Earth expedition. Some sought to genuinely understand this water-rich world, while others plotted to exploit its resources by any means necessary. And in the vast depths of space, unbeknownst to the Council or the humans, ancient and powerful forces stirred. The revelation of a planet with such abundant water had not gone unnoticed by beings long thought to be mere legend. As the galactic delegation prepared to depart for Earth, the stage was set for a confrontation that would determine the fate of not just one planet, but potentially the entire cosmic order. The Water War. The arrival of the galactic delegation on Earth marked a turning point in human history. As their ships descended through the atmosphere, billions of eyes watched the skies, a mix of wonder and apprehension gripping the planet. Ambassador Zara Hazen stood on the landing pad at the newly constructed Galactic Relations Center in Geneva, flanked by world leaders and military personnel. As the alien ships touched down, sleek vessels of various designs reflecting their diverse origins, she took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. The delegation emerged, a colorful array of beings led by Xandri. The chief diplomat's iridescent skin shimmered in Earth's sunlight, its crown pulsing with patterns that seemed to mirror the waves of the nearby Lake Geneva. "Welcome to Earth," Hazen said, bowing slightly. "We are honored to host you and hope that this visit will foster understanding between our peoples." Xandri inclined its head. "We thank you for your hospitality, Ambassador. We look forward to learning more about your remarkable world." As the formal greetings concluded, the delegation was escorted to their quarters. Over the next few days, they would tour key sites around the globe, assessing Earth's water resources and defenses. Dr. Tanaka led the scientific contingent, guiding them through complex ecosystems and explaining the delicate balance that Earth's water cycle maintained. Many of the alien scientists were awestruck at the sheer abundance and diversity of life supported by the planet's oceans. Major Cole, meanwhile, oversaw the military aspect of the tour. He showcased Earth's defensive capabilities, walking a fine line between demonstrating strength and avoiding any appearance of aggression. But beneath the surface of diplomatic niceties, tensions simmered. Krogath, who had insisted on joining the delegation, could barely contain his disdain for what he saw as wasteful abundance. His eyes gleamed with barely concealed greed as he gazed out over the vast Pacific Ocean. On the 5th day of the delegation's visit, as they stood on the shores of Lake Baikal, the oldest and deepest freshwater lake on Earth, the fragile peace shattered. Alarms blared across global defense networks. Major Cole's communicator crackled to life, the voice of his second-in-command tight with urgency. "Sir, we have multiple unauthorized entries into Earth's atmosphere. They're not responding to hails." Before Cole could respond, the sky lit up with the fiery trails of descending ships. Massive vessels, their designs unlike anything in the official delegation, broke through the cloud cover. Krogath let out a triumphant roar. "The Saurian Imperium claims this world and its waters in the name of galactic prosperity." Chaos erupted. Earth's defensive systems sprang to life, orbital platforms launching salvos of energy weapons at the invading fleet. But the Saurian ships were powerful, their shields absorbing the attacks as they pushed deeper into the atmosphere. Xandri whirled on Krogath, its usually melodious voice sharp with anger. "You fool, you've doomed us all with your greed." But the Saurian diplomat was beyond reason, his eyes wild with the prospect of claiming Earth's water for his people. As Krogath moved to signal his fleet, Major Cole acted on instinct. He tackled the massive alien, both of them tumbling to the ground in a tangle of limbs and scales. Ambassador Hudson's voice cut through the pandemonium. "This is an act of war. Earth will defend itself with all its might." As if in response to her words, the waters of Lake Baikal began to churn. A colossal form rose from the depths, a creature of legend that had slumbered for millennia. The Baikal deep-water serpent, awakened by the commotion, unleashed a roar that shook the earth. Similar scenes played out across the globe. In Loch Ness, a long-necked beast emerged, its eyes blazing with ancient fury. The Kraken of Norse legend rose from the North Sea, tentacles lashing out at alien ships that ventured too close. Dr. Tanaka stared in awe at the Baikal serpent. "It's impossible. These creatures, they're real." Zephyr, the misty representative of the Nebula Collective, swirled with agitation. "Not impossible, Doctor. Many worlds have guardians, spirits of nature that protect the balance. We should have known a planet so rich in water would have powerful defenders." As the ancient water beings joined Earth's military in battling the Saurian invaders, the planet became a war zone. Cities across the globe activated long-hidden defenses, force fields shimmering to life over major population centers. In orbit, Earth's hastily assembled space fleet engaged the Saurian armada. Human ingenuity clashed with alien technology in a spectacular display of firepower that lit up the night sky. Ambassador Hassan, watching the battle unfold from the emergency command center beneath Geneva, felt a mix of pride and horror. Humanity was holding its own, but at what cost? "We need to end this quickly," she said, turning to the remaining members of the Galactic delegation. "If this war drags on, the environmental damage could be catastrophic." Sandry nodded, its crown pulsing with rapid, complex patterns. "Agreed. I have contacted the Council. They are sending peacekeeping forces, but they won't arrive for several rotations." Valshera, the crystalline being, chimed in. "Perhaps we could reason with the Water Guardians. If they truly protect the balance of this world, they might be persuaded to help us repel the invaders more quickly."